Happy Sunday, everybody. It's meteorologist Matt Wintz here for our Region Weather Live broadcast. So much going on across the country right now, especially out east. I don't know if you guys have been watching some of the coverage or hearing about it on social, whatever it happens to be. This is going to be a doozy. It's not often that we get a big winter storm up the East Coast. Every winter, we tend to get some. They get 6 to 12 inches every now and then. But once every blue moon or so, they get a really good snowstorm out east, and boy, are they getting one right now. And it comes with really strong winds. This low pressure we're watching deepen right now. It's going to bomb out. It's going to go through the bombogenesis cycle, which is when it drops 24 hours. It drops 24 millibars or more, and I think it'll be more than that. It's just an impressive low, big wind maker, lots of snow for them. I have a friend who lives in New York City who sent me a picture. It's starting to come down, sticking to the trees. They're going to get buried there in New York City, probably 17 to 19 inches, somewhere around there in Long Island. So incredible stuff. So how does that impact us? Well, it does. It's going to turn the wind off the lake, which we're already seeing, but really focus it. So we're going to have some lake effect snow here tonight to tomorrow. We've been saying for a week that I thought tomorrow morning's rush hour is going to be a little bit slick around here. So we'll talk about snow totals here locally. I want to dive into the pattern as we get throughout much of the month of March. We're starting to get kind of a look at what's going to happen. And if you like winter, boy, it looks like it might stick around for a little bit. So we'll chat about all this here in the forecast coming up. We'll let a few other people join here on this Sunday evening. We'll get through our sponsors, and then we'll get the show on the road, saying hi to our early birds and going from there. We have two brand new sponsors in the month of February. I want to introduce them to you. I know everyone else on our list is a household name by now, hopefully for you, but these are our two new ones. ServiceMaster by Tecton. What do? They help you get back to normal with their disaster restoration services. From floods to fires to everything in between, ServiceMaster by Tecton is there for you. They take care of commercial and residential needs, both alike. So if you have a business, maybe a flooding or a fire, unfortunately, anything disaster-wise where you're like, oh my gosh, what do I do? You go to them. They'll take care of you. You can reach them at 219-476-2222. Their website is smrtrestore.com, or you can find them on their social media pages. If you don't know what to do next in an emergency, they do. Our other new sponsor for February, I'd like to introduce you to a family-owned business here in Northwest Indiana. They're founded in 1927. It's Kraz Construction. They provide windows, doors, sidings, anything to help Northwest Indiana homeowners weather every season that we have. They also do fences, attic, insulation, pretty much anything around your home. It's krasman.com or 219-248-3911. Kate Cusack, our home loan girl, she knows spring's just around the corner, and now's the time to prepare, whether that means getting pre-approved. You want to do that before you go into home buying. You want to be pre-approved from your bank, not just those letters in the mail that say, hey, you're approved for this. You want to actually get your ducks in a line and get pre-approved. She can do that for you, or you can look to refinance. Maybe with rates coming down, she'll help you do that as well. You can find her here on Facebook as Kate Cusack Home Loan Girl. Don't wait for those warmer days. Reach out to her today. Halcyon Water Solutions provides the highest quality water treatment with exceptional service all across Northwest Indiana. From water softening and filtration to salt delivery and maintenance, they've got all your water needs covered. If there's anything water related that you need in your house, better drinking water, maybe it smells funny, maybe you're just worried about what's in it, call 866-97-WATER. They can come out and do a free in-home water analysis today. Well, not today, probably tomorrow. Earl's Heating, earlsheating.com is the place to go if you need your furnace tuned up. Winter is not over by far. Let them take care of your indoor environment. They can even add a humidifier to your whole system. It's amazing. That way you're not zapping yourself and the air feels good. You've got dry skin. You're not getting sick as much. They can give you a tune-up or brand new everything, so you're not zapping yourself. The most trusted heating company in Cherville since 1976. Go to earlsheating.com to get them on the schedule. Roman's Roofing, spring's around the corner, and boy, our roofs have taken a beating here this winter, from wind to we had some ice to a lot of the snow that we've had as well. If you're looking for a new roof, or maybe you need something patched, let Romans do it. They'll do it all. They're local to Hobart, but they service all Northwest Indiana. They do retail and storm restoration options as well. All inspections and estimates completely free. Get them out to give you a go-to quote. They'll call them 219-838-9111, or their website is romansroofing.net. TNT Tree Service, if you need any trees taken down, maybe you had one that fell, you need chopped up, they'll take care of all that. They specialize in dangerous removals using modern equipment. TTTreeservice.com, that's 3 T's, or 219-300-6256 for TT Tree Service. Michael Minogue from Minogue.life has been serving the world of Medicare, Medicaid, and life insurance here in Northwest Indiana for decades. He knows this stuff. This guy's so nice. He says we are now in open enrollment period that gives people the opportunity to change Medicare Advantage parts plans like Part C. You can change it one time between January 1st and the end of March. This is a good opportunity for people who find that they made a mistake or in a plan that doesn't have their preferred providers or medications covered to make a change. If you have questions around that, or you don't know what your plan offers, or maybe you need something else, he'd be happy to sit down with you. No cost consultation. Minogue.life is the website to go to. FBIbuildings.com if you need a new pole barn constructed. They've done over 20,000 of them in the Midwest. Commercial, residential, they do it all. FBIbuildings.com. Grieger's Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram if you need a new car. They've been serving Northwest Indiana for decades as well, but they do a lot of community work. I love Grieger's because they're always out in the community doing events, fundraisers, stuff like that. But they've got a great new line of Jeeps ready to go for the 2026 season. Go over to Grieger's on US 30 there in Valpo. And finally, last but not least, our favorite plumbers here in the region, Tiger Plumbing. Rawr. They didn't tell me to do that. I just did that. But anyway, they're just wonderful. They come out for free. What plumber comes out for free? Who comes out for free nowadays? They all charge you $100 as trip fees. But they come out for free. They'll take care of you. If you need new faucets installed, maybe you're getting a bathroom remodeled or a section of the house, they'd be happy to be in that planning around the plumbing process. Or maybe you need now outdoor spigot as we get ready for our spring season. It'll be here short enough. TigerPlumbing.net, the place to go. All right, let's say hi to our early birds here on this Sunday evening. We've got Mark with us. Mark, thanks for joining us on our YouTube channel. Appreciate you, buddy. Mary's with us as well. The whole family's here. We've got Jeff this evening. Jan, hello on our YouTube channel. J.A. John Alexander's with us. Good evening. Nancy, hello. Stephen, I appreciate you spending time with us this evening. Glad you could make it. Gail's with us as well. Hi there, Kelly. Joey Davis. Joey D is here with us tonight. Sal, hey, buddy. How you doing? Jenny's with us. Erica, hello. Stacy, Sherilyn, Tammy, everyone's doing well. Thank you very much. Ethan's with us as well. James and Nancy. Dave says hi to Abby. That's okay. We're all family. Say hi to each other. Sherry's there as well. Look at Cheryl Lynn. My daffodils, tulips, and hyacinths are popping up. Wow, you beat us, Cheryl Lynn. Boy, they're going to be, it's going to be interesting next couple of weeks. I'll show you all coming up here in the broadcast. Beverly's with us as well. Rich, Paul, Linda, Vicky. We've got Maxwell, who sent a wonderful lightning pic. Maxwell, I don't think I shared that, did I? I'll share it at some point here. Maxwell takes wonderful pictures. I saved it. I know I saved it to my device, but I think I had to leave work in a hurry that day. I had a school visit on Friday, so I was out visiting the kiddos. Ann's with us as well. Mindy made it. Yes, Mindy made it on our YouTube channel. Mary's with us. Jeff, Lynn, hello. I think I got through the list. Guys, I'm humbled that you take time to join me here on Sunday nights. All right, let's get to the action. Thanks for letting me get through my sponsors too. You guys just support our local businesses if you need any of those things. If not, that's okay too. But they are all family owned and awesome. We're so happy with our family of sponsors. Not a bad goose in the gander there. All right, in terms of our forecasts here, real fascinating. The evolution of this low off the East Coast this week. At first, it was like, okay, they're going to get some snow. And then it was like, it's going to back off. It'll be offshore. And then it's like, ooh, this could be a stronger low. And then it's like, well, maybe not. And then like last couple of days, it just came together. And it's like, okay, this is going to be a full-blown blizzard for like the Jersey Shore up towards New York and Boston. And that's what's going on right now. You can see what we've got was this area of low pressure. And see how all this energy that went through here over the course of yesterday and today is now punching into this area of low pressure as it gets going. It's kind of like pushing your hand through a bathtub. I use that reference a lot because the atmosphere is fluid. It's like doing that, and then you see that swirl develop on the top of your hand. That's what's going on right now. The hand pushed through us. It's heading out towards the East Coast right now, and this low is starting to bomb out. So they're getting some heavy snow starting to ring out as well. This satellite picture, I want it to be focused more on us, but you can see off towards the right of your screen above our logo there. All sorts of heavy snow now. Jersey had some rain initially. Now it's over to snow. Maryland, DC's in this. Philly's in this as well. But for us, we had this trough. So the system went by. We had moisture lingering to the north. It was snowing up in southern Canada, the northern tier of the country. And that trough had lingering moisture. And now we've got a low, which is flinging some moisture back. And it's also helping to pull all that down. And so you can see the pull with all these widespread snow showers. And it's amazing because if this were early January or even late January for that matter, the snow that we've had pretty persistently flying around today would be causing problems on roadways. But we've got a pretty strong late February sun that's shining through. I mean, I know we've got clouds, but we still get energy from the sun through those clouds, solar radiation. And so it's really gone to work and saved us during the day. We haven't had a lot of road issues. There's been some of the side roads have gotten a little snowy at times, but really it hasn't been too big of a deal yet. Problem is, sun's going down now. It's a different ballgame once the sun's down. So I do expect us to slicken up tonight. And I still think that morning rush hour is going to be slippery tomorrow. I think we'll have some snow cover from it, as the snow's really not going to let off a whole lot. And I'll show you why here in a second. But widespread general snow for us. There is some lake effect in this as well. Not all of this is lake effect. It will turn into that, but a lot of this is kind of from that trough. And some of this moisture, despite the fact that most of it's out towards the East Coast, we do have some moisture from that. Here's a shot right now. This is just from a little bit ago. This is Grand Avenue, I-94. Notice we've got snow cover, yes, but the roads are just fine. Again, some of those side roads are a mess. Here goes this blizzard. All right, here's the East Coast. Here's us. I'll give us a local view here coming up. But I just want you to see this as we go through time. Real heavy stuff just offshore or clipping the shore. Still heavy inland, though. Don't get me wrong. And the big story with this is the wind. All right, this thing bombs out. So you have this deep area of low pressure. You have all this air that rushes in to try to fill that void. It's literally a void in the atmosphere. If you picture like the cloud layer, this has nothing to do with clouds. So just picture that as being like higher pressures and lower pressures. When you have an area of low pressure, picture it being a dot, all right? And that dot doesn't have very much pressure pushing down. And so air has to rise to fill that void, right? So we have a very strong area of low pressure, meaning there's a lot of air that has to rush to fill that void of very little pressure. And so what that rush of air is wind, all right? That's why low pressures and high pressures, depending on their strength, can bring a lot of wind because the air has to move to fill those voids. And so that's what we're seeing with this thing really bombing out. That wind is incredible with this. So they're getting heavy snow, blizzard conditions up and down the eastern seaboard. This is a major storm system for those areas. You see how tonight into tomorrow, here's tomorrow morning, here's tomorrow afternoon, Boston, Cape Cod, still snowing in New York City. And then eventually this thing pulls on out. But what we have on the backside of it is just a prolonged north wind. I mean, this north wind goes from here to the Mississippi River, and it goes all the way down to the Gulf Coast. So as a result, you've got areas in Georgia, for example, and Tennessee that were into the upper 70s and low 80s the last couple of days. Yikes, they are not anymore. They're in the 20s with wind chill values in the low teens. So if you thought our weather was dramatic, it's even more dramatic areas down there. And it was really dramatic out in Nebraska as well, where they were in the 70s and then they went down to teens and 20s. So all this cold air gets dragged in courtesy this blizzard off towards the East Coast. So we're going to stay on the cold side. Nothing crazy, barbarically cold, but it's cold enough. And then the wind, I want to show you that. Here are the gusts. I mean, gusts going 70, 80 offshore, 40 to 60 inland. You talk about power outages. I mean, look at this. Nantucket sits right about here, Cape Cod as well. I mean, they're just going to get nailed. And on top of that, you've got storm surge coming in. So, when you have 70-mile-per-hour winds over a long length of the ocean, that obviously piles that water up. And so that water level rises big time. So just an incredible system there. All right, locally, how that deals with us, obviously, we've got the north wind. We've got cold air coming in. So we have widespread snow showers from the trough, but we're going to turn towards more lake effect tonight. And this lake effect really, it's giving me fits, and it's giving a lot of people fits because the models don't understand, and they really are not doing a good job forecasting with any consensus with how much snow we're going to get. I'm going to show you what I lean here. This is a model I'm leaning toward, which is actually the NAM. Usually I'm a little bit more HRRR, even sometimes RAP. But watch how as we go through time, we've got snow showers around. It doesn't have a good handle on that. They're a little bit more widespread. But watch the lake effect. This is tonight. All right, we develop a pretty stout band out over the lake that hits Berrien County. This will get into areas just off towards the east near South Bend. But eventually it starts to kind of waffle its way back towards the west tomorrow morning and into the midday hours. And that would bring snow into Porter County, LaPorte County, Stark County. All right, Lake County, you get some out of this. We're talking lake effect here, okay? There'll probably be some snow showers outside of that. And then eventually it kind of winds down tomorrow night as the winds shift around to the southwest pretty quick. All right, so that's kind of what we're looking at in terms of lake effect. I do want to show you the HRRR, though. The HRRR is much heavier in this, and it has been. It develops a real stout band there. This would be 1 to 2 inches an hour. It brings it into LaPorte County tomorrow morning in time for that rush hour, and then it brings it into Porter County, and then back to LaPorte, then out towards South Bend before it winds down. So here's the difference in snowfall forecast. And we're getting into this. I mean, the models should have a good consensus on what's going to happen. We're only a couple hours out, but they don't. They don't agree with how much and how organized that lake effect band gets together. They don't agree with how much moisture is available either. So you get the HRRR, which is saying anywhere from a sharp gradient in Porter County of 1 to 9 inches. And then you get into LaPorte County, where we're talking portions of it seeing 6 to 12. Okay, by the time all is said and done. I don't want to say that's not possible. The way we'll paint it is locally higher amounts, but I tend to agree more so with the HRRR, or not the HRRR, the NAM. And I don't agree with the NAM 18Z. It's a 12Z that I like. I like this one right here, where it's not a lot, but it's some. And we could see I've got anywhere from 2 to 6 inches in LaPorte County, anywhere from 2 to 5 going from west to east in Porter County. And then a little bit less in Stark County, like a 2 to 4 for you. All right. This is the one I like better. It's really hard to say that when you've got this that's been very consistent. It just depends on how that band of lake effect develops. And if it becomes a little bit more if there's more convergence out over the lake, we'll get more of a stout band around here. But I don't see the foot totals. I just don't see it right now. And I could be completely wrong. Again, lake effect is fickle and hard to predict. But bottom line, we're going to get snowy in LaPorte County tonight. All right. All of us are going to have some snow cover from once the sun goes down. It's going to get slick outside, anything that's untreated. That's just what happens when the sun goes down. But the snow shower activity should start to wind down with the system. And then we're going to deal with more lake effect snow showers primarily tonight and tomorrow. Okay. It becomes more of a lake effect issue. And in terms of that lake effect issue, Porter and LaPorte counties, guaranteed snow in LaPorte. Porter County's kind of in question with how much you get. All right. You're going to get some. Stark County, I think you're going to get some as well. But the big question is how much do we get? And that ranges, I'm going 2 to 6 right now. But some of the models obviously saying maybe up to 10, maybe 12. Okay. And that's a wide range. I don't want to push that. So we'll go to 2 to 6 with locally higher amounts. I think the Weather Service is I think they've got 2 to 4 or 2 to 5 with locally higher, which I completely understand. They're kind of looking at the same thing. And you can see the wrap has kind of that bullseye too. So a lot of models showing this bullseye in LaPorte County. But either way, the impact is the same. And again, that's why we focus on impacts. You know, if you get 4 inches, if you get 8 inches, I understand that is a difference in terms of number, but it's not really in terms of impacts. 4 inches will mess everything up. Okay. Especially overnight into a morning rush hour. And I do think we're going to have some tricky travel tomorrow morning, especially LaPorte and Porter counties tomorrow morning for that rush hour. And I'll be up bright and early tracking that for you guys. Okay. Before you wake up, we'll have a post out. Okay. So where do we go from there? This system finally winds down and we have such a snowy pattern that's developing. And this has been more consistent the last couple runs where we've kind of ramped up the snow the rest of the month into March. And I know we're kind of sick of it, but now that we're back into it, it's like, okay, we're used to this. We'll be able to get through it. But here's what we're dealing with. We've got a clipper that's going to be moving in here. We'll have a stout southwest wind that develops Tuesday. Okay, so tomorrow we've got lake effect around. Lake effect will wind down pretty quickly tomorrow afternoon and evening. Wind shift. Wind gets gusty around here Monday night into Tuesday. Tuesday, we've got a gusty southwest wind going the other direction, right? That's out ahead of this clipper. The bulk of the snow with this looks to head north. We've played this game several times this winter where at times these can be off by 20, 25 miles or so. And if it is, that would bring some snow shower activity to the area Tuesday evening into Tuesday night, and then it's out of here. Okay. I don't see that being a big deal locally. But again, snow showers just to our north. And then we kind of, what the system does is it kind of brings down the colder air and it sets up that storm track that we talk about a lot right over Indiana. Okay. And that storm track this time of year especially is really crucial because we have Gulf moisture now that we're warming up down south. We've got Gulf moisture being thrown in, which is unlike what we've dealt with this winter. And when you have that, you have the possibility of storm systems like winter storms that start to set up in February and March. We know that we get big winter storms around the country this time of year because we have Gulf moisture. There's more heat available. So with the train tracks kind of going right through us, it brings numerous chances for very quick hitting, but kind of snowy storms. All right. I don't want to say snowstorms, but I do. And I'll show you what I mean here. And the Euro's been picking up on this for a couple runs now. But we've got to keep our eye on this one. This one has been bigger. It's gotten a little bit less intense in terms of what it looks like. I know it doesn't look like much, but this would be Wednesday night into Thursday. There would be a strip of accumulating snow on the northern side of a low that's trying to develop. Okay. See how that kind of just breezes through. here's your southern track of the jet stream. So you've got the cold air basically from Indiana north. You get the moisture involved, and there's that storm track. See how it rides right through the region? That could bring a quick 2 to 4 inches of snow, all right? And that would wreck your Thursday morning rush hour as well. We'll keep our eyes on that. The track of that one is not determined yet, but Thursday morning rush hour, we'll have to keep an eye on for that, okay? That one heads by. The storm track is still right over us, okay? And then as we go through time, here's Friday into Saturday, we get a brief warm-up. Little system zips by perhaps Sunday. This is Saturday night into Sunday. Doesn't look too problematic now, but what it does is it sets us up for this thing right here. Okay, this is a week from today. This is March 1st. This is the last Sunday in February today. March 1st, next Sunday, storm track's right on us. A lot of moisture gets together, and it has to do with phasing. It's all about phasing. If this energy phases together, the northern stream and the southern stream, you'll get this. If not, it could end up something like this, okay? But either way, we're still in that track, and there's another shot at some good accumulating snow perhaps a week from today, depending on how that goes. That heads out, and then we have another one that moves through right there on the 4th, a couple days later. And then that one heads out, and we have another one here that doesn't phase. But if that phase, that's a winter storm too. This takes us all the way through March 8th at this point. And this doesn't look pretty. If you don't like snow and you're done with it, all right, close your eyes right now, because I'm going to show you the snowfall, at least the potential here as we go through time. System 1 right there, System 2, System 3, System 4. You get the idea. We are in that storm track. And so, you know, the potentials there, says the Euro, that we could all have well over a foot of snow on the ground in a week and a half. Well, this is actually 2 weeks. This actually goes through 2 weeks. But in a week and a half, you could see, I mean, we've got most of it down, maybe with that one storm system next week. So bottom line, we've got to watch it. We've got a very active pattern around here. We're not done yet. I do want to show you the other models, though. GFS has been consistently further north with it. Look at the 12Z. It had everything just north of us with that storm track. The 18Z, the latest run, has brought it further south. So it kind of agrees with the Euro on that. Still too soon on those distant snowstorms. The GEM, or the Canadian model, has it way far south, but it does have a snowy scene for us as well. But you get the idea here. We are going to continue to see these storm systems with snow. Okay, and that goes through March. Okay, let's talk temps. That's the last thing I've got for you. Cold polar air off towards the north. If you remember what the pattern has looked like all winter so far, we have a jet stream that goes from the northwest down to the southeast. And so that allows that cold air to spill in the eastern half of the country. When we warmed up last week, we had a trough out west, all that action out west, and we had a nice ridge out east. Well, we're back to that trough out east again, and watch how this just holds. Okay, this is Tuesday. This is Wednesday. Here's your storm track, right where that green line is. That's where most of the storms will go. This is Thursday, Friday, Saturday. You notice the trend. It's still trough in the east, although not as pronounced, but still a ridge in the west, trough in the east. This is next Tuesday. Then we get a little ridge here, perhaps, and then it's gone. All right, there you go. This is March 9th, still dealing with that northwest to southeast flow. What's that do for temps? Oh, don't look at this. This will change. All right, this will change. Temperatures cold this week. Little bump with that gusty wind on Tuesday. Nice little bump on into Friday and Saturday, depending on where this storm system goes, okay? Depending on the track of that, we could get a nice bump in temps. And then the Euro has us just bitterly cold as we go into the first week and a half of March. It's got some cold air coming in. I've got good news for you, though. Not all the models are picking up on that. So here, let me get, I pressed the wrong button. Let me get the other ones going here. So that's the Euro deterministic. Okay, we don't always look at deterministic, but I mean, that cold air's there. So here's kind of the good news. All right, this is the GFS. It has us cold for the next week and a half into the 5th day of March. And then look, it has us in the 50s. Okay, GFS historically isn't very accurate, but we'll see what happens in terms of that. And the other thing, I mean, we could look at some of the ensembles because they are all over the board after that. But this is your national blend of models. This is the one that takes all the models, blends them together based on performance recently. And notice it keeps us cold this week. Nice little bump, as I mentioned, Friday, Saturday. And then it kind of differs in terms of what the Euro's doing. The Euro wants to back off our temperatures big time. This keeps us in the 30s. So we'll see what happens. None of this is locked in the distance. But what is locked in is we're going to have a busy pattern around here as we go into the month of March around much of the eastern half of the country and the Midwest with these storm systems, okay? All right, so go ahead and throw your questions in there. If you guys have any questions about weather, it can be local, it can be national. I don't care. I'll answer it for you or try my best. Other than that, Make sure you signed up regionweather.com. We've got our daily emails that start going out again tomorrow. We'll type something up for you in the morning, send it right to your inbox. Also, don't forget we're on the radio side of things. If you're listening in the office or in the car, X-Rock 103.9, Indiana 105.5, and Z107.1. We love doing our region weather forecast with them every single day during the week. It's good times. All right, let me get to your question. Let's see what we got. John Alexander. Well, first of all, Kathy says East Coast can have it. There's that. Renee praying for the East Coast. Let's see. Jan says lots of ice on my sidewalks and porch. Yeah, that's where it's going to accumulate. Well, overnight tonight, it'll get on the roads and the driveway. But yeah, this time of year, the sidewalks, your porch, all that stuff, they get pretty rough. And they are. Yeah, they're slick. So you'll need to either put a little bit of salt down. I did a story on salt. And it's interesting. It's not great for the environment. We know that. But you don't need to put down nearly as much. And I'm guilty of this too. You don't need to put down nearly as much as what we think we do. All right. It just takes a little bit to do the same job that a lot does and not as much runs in. So if you are salting stuff, just go a little lighter on the salt. We tell the kids the same thing with their meals. All right. My one son, we asked him what his favorite food is. He says salt. So that's great. All right. John Alexander says, grew up suburbs of Philly. Jealous for my family in PA, Delaware, Maryland with the blizzard. Wow, no kidding. John, are your parents leaving for their cruise tonight, or are they stuck? Are they stuck somewhere? The cruise probably takes off from Miami. So hopefully they made it down there. What a time to get out. Yeah, the other thing is, and this is interesting, shipping. Okay, shipping's going to be impacted this week. But I was thinking about this. All the Olympic athletes are coming back, and all the people that went to the Olympics. And they're usually flying into New York City, LaGuardia, JFK, Baltimore's a big hub, DC as well, Boston. I mean, these are major cities that are going to they're going to be stopped for a couple days. So those athletes, I mean, we've got a couple from NBC over there. I mean, how they're going to get stuck, which isn't the bad thing in Italy, but some of them might have to be redirected in other cities across the U.S. But it's just poor timing on that with the Olympics wrapping up here tonight. Well, they already wrapped up, but you're looking at closing ceremonies here tonight. Mark says, will the salt that went down in Lake County today eat up what comes in overnight? Oh, it should. It depends on how busy the road is, Mark, or parking lot. If there's a lot of traffic and it's kicking it off to the side, might need to resalt tonight. My guess would be that if it's just sitting there, it should. In areas of Porter and LaPorte County, though, if we get some of those higher snowfall rates, then it won't. All right. But in Lake County, as you're mentioning, you should be okay tonight. It's going to stay pretty consistent in terms of the kind of the intensity that we're looking at tonight. I don't see us getting into a big snow squall in Lake County. But overall, out east, it's going to be a different story where that salt's not going to eat up what comes in overnight. It should in Lake County, though. Let's see. Jan, how long before it melts? A lot of this should melt off by Friday. And especially any day that the sun's out, that sun is getting stronger, especially once we get to next Sunday. Meteorological spring starts. And every year, I always notice that when meteorological spring starts, for some reason, that sun just seems brighter and stronger outside, where 40s don't feel so bad when you're in the sunshine versus January 40s. It's just cold, right? So we're getting there. That sun angle is going up every single day, higher and higher in the sky. We're gaining 2 minutes. I think it's like 2 minutes and 40 seconds per day now of daylight. I mean, it's coming. All right. We'll start to feel it. March is always that transition march. And I remember when I was at Lakeshore Public Television, Maryville, what year was that? I always screw this up. I'm not a meteorologist who remembers years very well. I should. But it was either 2012. I believe it was 2012 or 2014. I think it was 2012. We had that March. Do you guys remember that March where we had like 80 degrees? It was like 70s and 80s for like 9 straight days or something like that. And the trees were doing their thing mid-March. It was insane. And then I remember the next year, because I was still doing Lakeshore Public Television, I remember the next year showing a graphic because it was like in the 20s and 30s the same week the next year. And I remember doing a graphic, showing the difference year to year. But March can do stuff like that. March can bring us some really warm air if it wants to. So it just needs to want to. And this pattern, the good news is the pattern we're getting into to start the month, I would rather have a start the month on the cold side rather than a start warm and go back to real cold for a while. So if we can get this cold stuff out of the way first half of the month of March, I don't know what's going to happen the second half, but if I were a betting man, if we have cold for 2 weeks, something's got to change. So let's change it mid into late March. all right, and bring in some of that warm air when we're capable of producing warmer air. Yeah, Maxwell brings up a good point. Snow this time of year, it's not bad. It doesn't last too long. It doesn't. It's not like what we get in December, that's staying on the ground if it stays cold. January, especially, because nothing melts. Rhonda's done with the snow, so there's that. That's interesting. Okay, John Alexander, believing in the night. There's that. Holly, great question. Thoughts on 2-hour delays for our buses? Holly, it just depends on where. I don't know if that's going to help a whole lot, because that's wherever that lake effect band ends up, it's going to continue to snow. It's not like the snow's going to wind down all of a sudden tomorrow morning. You know what I mean? So I don't know if the delay is really going to help. I know it gives us extra time to clear off the buses, but the roads, I don't see them getting a whole lot better where that lake effect band is. All right, so here's tomorrow morning right here. Okay, the models are indicating there's going to be just a decent band of lake effect. This isn't, now, I don't want us to get confused. This is not the lake effect that we have seen twice this year with the 2, 3, 4 inch hour snowfall rates, wherever that band goes. This is just going to be persistent, inch and a half an hour in the meat of it. Outside of that, some snow showers, but it keeps going all day. So here's tomorrow morning, and then notice by afternoon, evening, it starts to wind down. But I don't know if that 2-hour delay is going to help. That's the only thing. If something we're moving through and clearing up like a snow squall, I could see that. But look at the NAM. The NAM is really backed off. I mean, it's saying 1 to 3 inches. All right. And we're thinking 2 to up to 6 in LaPorte County, 2 to up to 5 from west to east in Porter County. That's kind of what I'm going with. General 1, 2, 3, or 4 in Stark County from south to north. So this isn't a huge event, but the timing of it, the fact that it's overnight into that morning rush hour, I think that's going to cause some problems. And it will continue, to your point, Holly, through the morning tomorrow. So good call on that. Yeah, Tyler asks, do you think El Nino will affect our summer? It certainly could, Tyler. I think more so what will affect our summer is this ongoing drought, not just across the state of Indiana, but a good portion of the country is in a drought right now. And I think that is going to help if it continues. If we do not get good rains this spring, if that trend continues and we're really dry across Indiana, we're okay here in the region, but just south of here, that's where the drought is. Newton, Jasper County, you're dry, all right, but you're better off than areas down to your south. If we continue with that drought, remember, when there's a bad drought or that ground is bone dry, you don't get as much evaporation through the soil, all right? And what evaporation does, it adds the stickiness, the humidity outside, but it also keeps temperatures from getting out of control, all right? The more moisture there is in the atmosphere, when it's super humid, it's tough to get those 100-degree days, okay? Because a lot of moisture, the more moisture in the air, the harder it is to heat up and cool down, okay? Versus if we're bone dry and we've got a drought and there's not evaporation coming out of even the mid-levels of the soil coming up to the top, things can really get scorched in a hurry, and that drought can breed drought. And so when we've got widespread drought across the South, even in the Midwest, that could create a big dome of heat where we're in the 90s and hundreds this summer, and that can easily come our way if we don't fix it. So we need to be praying for rain here across the eastern half of the country. This system, this big blizzard, all right, that's going on right now, out towards the east, that's very beneficial in terms of moisture, at least. All right, but we're not getting enough of it in areas of the Tennessee Valley, the Deep South, and the Midwest, and we need to do that. And the problem is this pattern where you have the pattern we've been in, where we have this northwest flow, this shuts off the Gulf for a lot of systems, okay? Because you get these big high pressures like this one that bring that air all the way into the Gulf, and we have air pushing into the Gulf. You don't have moisture coming back, so we don't get big rainmakers where we need it. So we'll see if that changes. There's still a lot of time to change. Mother Nature loves to balance herself out, and we've done this before where we've gone into early spring and it's like, oh my gosh, how are we going to get out of this drought? This is going to be a terrible summer. And then the pattern flips and we have rain for a week and a half, 2 weeks, not just locally, but across portions of the Midwest, down towards the Tennessee Valley. And then you're like, oh, well, that's gone. We made up for it, So Mother Nature tends to balance out, but we'll see what happens. That's kind of what we need. Erica says, Valpo is not plowing subdivisions until the snow event is over, so it could be ugly in the morning. Oh gosh, yeah. We've had the situation too where a lot of jurisdictions are running out of salt because of the winter it's been, so they're just like, good luck. So we'll see. But yeah, Valpo is going to be right on that edge between either getting decent amount of snow or not getting much at all. I have a feeling Valpo is going to end up, I would think 2 to 4 right now. Again, some of the models saying upwards 6 or so for Valpo, but I think 2 to 4 ought to do it. It's not going to be a huge event, but it's going to be snowing. It doesn't take much to cause problems. So just give a little extra time for that morning rush hour. Again, I'll have an update tomorrow morning for you guys, okay? All right. Well, that's it here on this Sunday evening. I hope you got something out of it. Again, I always do these. I do these for you. I want to make sure that you guys are getting good information, that we're answering your questions. If you have anything I didn't cover, always throw them in the chat. I'm extremely open to feedback. Again, this is your show, so I do appreciate you guys taking a chunk of your precious time to join me here tonight. Okay. All right. So here's what we're going to do. We'll get you on the radio side tomorrow morning. I'll send out that morning email as well to your inbox, letting you know what's going on weather-wise. And we'll have a post before you're up in the morning. So I'll be up bright and early doing this. Okay. All right. You guys have a wonderful Sunday evening and enjoy the week coming out ahead of us. We've got time change in 2 weeks. So that puts our sunsets, I think, 6:30, something like that, almost 7 o'clock. So we're getting there. 2 weeks. We'll get there. Okay. All right. See you guys.